is Allan White,
Mm-hmm.
and I've lived in this area for 91 years.
Wow.
And I quit school when I was 15 because my father was wounded badly in the First World War, and I went to help him on the farm. And we did that for from 1937 until 1947. And at that time, we bought, with the help of the family, a hardware store in Port Hope
Mm-hmm.
called Giffen, owned by James Giffen.
Mm-hmm.
And we just called it Giffen's Hardware, and operated that store for 25 years.
Wow.
And in the meantime, we started Home Hardware in Port Hope, which will have its 50th anniversary the 1st of January. Living accommodations above the store,
Mm-hmm.
and we converted it into 2 apartments. My mother and dad lived in one apartment, and when I got married, I wasn't married when we first came in. When I got married, we converted it into 2 apartments and lived there for 4 or 5 years, and then we built a house, and we had a family by that time. Yeah.
Okay.
One thing that has changed, and there was quite a controversy about the time, each store had outside lights
Mm-hmm.
that jutted out over the sidewalk. And eventually, after a lot of discussion and meetings and arguments, they decided that within 1 or 2 years, I forget how long, they had to dispose of those jutting lights and just have signs that were adhering to the building.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good idea, because if you look down the main street with every store having a sign, you didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, I can't think of, there are a few cosmetic changes, but nothing drastic or major.
Mm-hmm.
I had a cash register, national cash register, with the name of William Brand, B-R-A-U-N-D.
Yeah.
And I wrote away to the National Cash Register people 50 years ago maybe, and asked how old it was. And they said it was manufactured around 1900. And so William Brand was the first I know. Jim Giffen, who I bought the business from, he started in business, bought the business in 1926.
Wow.
And I bought the business in 1947 from Jim Giffen. And I sold it to Jim Gilmer in 1971.
How did you find conducting business in downtown Port Hope?
Well, since we had a big bank loan, and I had some sleepless nights, and worrying about having enough money to pay the staff on Friday night. It was a challenge, but we dealt with so many terrific people, and in due course these things sorted themselves. This is a minor thing, but we always had salesmen coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and we had specialty salesmen come in. And this day, a specialty salesman came in selling plastic glasses, they were hard plastic glasses, and he said they were unbreakable. So he threw one on the floor and it didn't break at all. It was fine. So I thought, well, I'll buy a dozen or two of them, and I put some of them on the counter, and someone came in and looked at them and thought they were interesting. And I said, yes. I said, they're a little more expensive because they're not breakable. And I said, so I'll show you. So I threw one on the floor and it broke all into pieces. It shattered. The salesman had a non-breakable glass, but he sold me breakable ones.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It's a minor thing, but and when I started in business, several of the other businessmen came in to wish me well, and one, a fellow by the name of Abe Ballot, wonderful fellow. I didn't know him really well, but he said, do you mind if I give you a word of advice? And I said, I can use all the help I can get, and I'd be delighted. Well, he said, never be afraid to say no to a salesman. And I always remembered that.